See, our captain, the leader of Africa, Captain Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso, has written his name on the sands of time. You know, say we as Africans, we don't care about legacy. No. Africans don't give a fuck about legacy. That is why we go about humping like looking for anybody that will throw us some bananas. But there are few people, few leaders that care so much about legacy, good legacy, not anyhow legacy. And despite the fact that so many of them, their life was actually cut short, untimely. But then our leader, the true leader of Africa, Tuale Baba. Anyway, our Captain Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso, our leader, on Friday, Burkina Faso halted a project backed by US billionaire Bill Gates that has seen genetically modified mosquitoes released in a bid to eradicate malaria and other insect-borne diseases. Target Malaria, funded by Bill Gates and Melinda Gates Foundation, is the latest NGO to come under pressure from the country's military ruler. Yes, we like it like that. We love him. I mean, the captain is bringing sanity to the military. Sanity, because we are used to military people now also kai. So he's giving us another side of military. It was ordered to stop all activities, the government said in a communique, I don't know. Anyway, let me break it down. You know that Bill Gates and his wife, Melinda Gates, they have this NGO, because they always come under NGO, that how to eradicate malaria in Africa is to build a genetically modified mosquito to counter the organic mosquitoes. It makes sense, right? It makes a lot of sense to a complete way. But this is how leadership works. You tell us something, okay, we have heard you, but hold on, let's do our own research. Let's do our own research. We are human beings. We are not supposed to be like, we are not supposed to be like that kind of beings where we say you carry anything where you carry, give us. We swallow hook, line, and sinker. So our leader halted that particular project. Ezigbo mmadụ number one. Bill Gates Ezigbo mmadụ number one. He wants to counter malaria and other diseases or other insects by building a genetically modified mosquito. Imagine the kind of genetically modified insects that they build and release on our farms in Africa that actually destroy so many organic seeds. And they're not telling us that we now give you seed that cannot be destroyed by insects. Come and buy these seed that cannot be destroyed by insects. This is what leadership is about. This is example of a good leader. What leadership? This is what all of us as Africans, the kind of figures that we should be emulating. Not to go online and be seeing men where they bench nyach, where another man they put bola inside. All those ones are our role model. This is the kind of people that all of us should be emulating, both old and young, because gray hair no be intelligence. Gray hair has not, idiots grow old as well. Thank you so much, the captain. Thank you. Continue sharing videos of him, not just me. Every time you see videos of his good work, share, Kwano, please. Thank you.
You gotta watch this.
In breaking news, shaking the heart of West Africa, a storm of accusations has once again erupted. Not from the battlefield of Burkina Faso, but from the microphones of Western media. BBC News has published a headline that reverberates across the globe. They claim that Captain Ibrahim Traoré's army has killed more than 100 civilians. A charge as heavy as it is sensational. But is it the truth? Or is it yet another chapter in a long book of propaganda designed to weaken the image of a leader who refuses to bow to foreign masters? Today, we bring you the full story. A story that goes beyond headlines, beyond spin, beyond the smoke of misinformation, into the heart of a nation fighting for its survival. This is not just about Burkina Faso. This is about power, propaganda, and the battle for Africa's independence. Stay with us till the end, because what you are about to hear will not only challenge what you thought you knew, it may very well change how you see the media itself. BBC's headline is clear: Burkina Faso's army kills civilians. The Western press wasted no time in spreading the report, amplifying it across airwaves, newspapers, and websites. The framing was predictable, familiar, and designed to strike at the heart of Captain Traoré's legitimacy. But let us ask the most basic questions. Questions every journalist worth their salt should ask. Do civilians live in the forests where terrorists hide? Do civilians carry AK-47s and rocket launchers? Do civilians ambush national soldiers, burn villages, and terrorize their own neighbors? No, these are not the actions of innocent men, women, or children. These are the tactics of armed militants, insurgents, and mercenaries funded and supplied by outside forces. So why does the BBC and the Western media machine insist on labeling these defeated terrorists as civilians? The answer is as old as imperialism itself: propaganda. Recently, Burkina Faso's armed forces launched a high-stakes operation deep in the Sahel. Intelligence reports revealed the location of a terrorist hideout, where armed fighters were preparing yet another wave of violence against villages. Soldiers moved swiftly, encircling the camp, cutting off escape routes, and launching a precise ambush. The results? Scores of terrorists neutralized, weapons seized, civilians in nearby areas spared from another bloodbath. But almost as soon as the dust settled, Western outlets, led by the BBC, released a counter-narrative. They claimed that those killed were not militants, but innocent civilians. No evidence was presented, no verifiable sources cited, no independent investigation conducted. Just sweeping claims, packaged for maximum outrage. Why? Because victories for Burkina Faso are defeats for those who benefit from instability. This is not the first time we've seen such tactics. Time and again, whenever an African leader stands up against exploitation, the same script unfolds. Step 1. Accuse the leader's army of atrocities. Step 2. Brand them as dictators, human rights violators, or butchers. Step 3. Pressure the international community to intervene through sanctions, isolation, or even military action. It is a formula perfected over decades, tested in nations from Libya to Iraq, from Syria to the Congo, and now they are applying it to Burkina Faso. But here's what they didn't count on: the people are no longer blind. There was a time when such headlines would have shattered public confidence, when colonial narratives, painted in the colors of Western journalism, would be swallowed whole. But today, Burkina Faso, and indeed Africa, has changed. Social media has broken the monopoly of information. Citizens now cross-check news, question motives, and expose contradictions. The same platforms once used by the West to spread propaganda are now weapons of resistance. Burkinabe youth, armed not just with rifles, but with smartphones, are calling out the lies. They are asking the questions the BBC refuses to. Who benefits from destabilizing Burkina Faso? Who arms the terrorists? Who profits when the Sahel burns? And more importantly, why is it always Western outlets, not African ones, that rush to brand African freedom fighters as criminals? Let us connect the dots. Burkina Faso has taken bold steps under Captain Ibrahim Traoré, expelling French troops, rejecting foreign dictates, building alliances with sovereign nations instead of relying on neo-colonial powers, investing in agriculture, education, and security. Each step strengthens independence, and with every step, the Western grip on the Sahel loosens. But power does not let go without a fight. That is why we now see this sudden wave of headlines. The West knows that it cannot defeat Traoré militarily. His people stand too firmly behind him. So instead, they turn to the battlefield of perception. If they can make him appear as a butcher, a criminal, a tyrant, they hope to erode his support from within. But it is failing. Let us return once more to the heart of the allegation. The BBC says 100 civilians were killed, but we ask, where is the proof? Where are the photos, the verified testimonies, the independent witnesses? Why do their reports echo the very talking points of terrorist groups that have been defeated on the ground? And the most important question, do civilians live in armed camps? Do civilians ambush soldiers in the forest? Do civilians terrorize their own countrymen with weapons supplied by shadowy sponsors? The answer is obvious, yet the BBC expects the world to suspend logic, to abandon reason, and to accept propaganda as fact. Here lies the difference between yesterday and today. In the past, such propaganda would have worked. Leaders would fall, nations would collapse, and Western powers would swoop in to impose their will. But today, Africa is rising. The people have become wiser. The people know the playbook. The people no longer allow foreign outlets to dictate their reality. Captain Traoré's rise itself is proof. He is not a creation of foreign powers. He is not a puppet dancing to Paris or Washington. He is the product of a people fed up with lies, betrayal, and exploitation. And no amount of propaganda will undo that bond. So tonight, as the BBC publishes its headlines, as Western journalists sharpen their pens, as whispers of atrocities circulate, let us remember this. The real story of Burkina Faso is not one of soldiers killing civilians. The real story is of a people reclaiming their land, their dignity, and their future. The real story is of a captain who refused to kneel. The real story is of a nation that will not be broken by lies. Yes, propaganda may fly faster than truth, but truth has something propaganda will never have: the heart of the people. And in Burkina Faso, the people have spoken. They stand with Traoré. They stand with sovereignty. They stand with the revolution. So let the BBC write its headlines. Let the West spin its stories. Burkina Faso knows the truth. Africa knows the truth. And slowly but surely, the world is beginning to see it too. This is not just news. This is history in the making. This is the rise of a people who refuse to be silenced. This is Burkina Faso.